Okie dokie. What's up, YouTube people? Look at me, looking fancy. Oh, let's fix this jacket a bit. I don't like wearing fancy clothes, I'll be honest. Anyway, they're so annoying. Who cares? Welcome to another episode of Azren's Journal. This is episode number 32, if I'm not mistaken. For those of you who are new to this segment, it is pretty straightforward. This is the segment on my YouTube channel where I share various language learning tips and share my own personal language learning journey. As you can see, I'm looking a lot more dapper, a lot more fancy and sophisticated, and wearing much nicer clothes than usual. Got like a jacket and a dress shirt. That is because in 30 minutes, there is a wedding taking place. It is my cousin's wedding. So I need to basically wrap this video up in about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. So I could quickly run out the door and head over to the wedding. Fun fact about me, I do not like dressing up. I do not like dress shirts. I do not like these jackets. I don't like dress pants. I don't like dress shoes. Anything fancy is not good in my books. I would much rather wear stuff that is comfortable. If it were up to me, I might just be okay with, everyone wearing sweatpants and really baggy, comfortable t-shirts everywhere they went. Girls, guys, business professionals, everyone. Like, I don't really care. When I was a kid, I used to hate dressing up so much, to the point where when it was wedding time, I used to always say things like, oh my goodness, when I get married, everyone is wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Me, my wife, the attendees of the wedding, we are all wearing jeans, t-shirt. You are not allowed in the door if you do not wear jeans and t-shirt. I don't know if that was that adamant. I don't remember anymore, but the jeans and t-shirt was definitely a thing I thought I would do at my wedding, because all this clothing and stuff is absolutely nonsense. I do not like it. This jacket, watch this episode turn into all about dress clothes and weddings and sophisticated clothing and all that. So get this, these clothes, they look nice, right? Obviously. I have two stories about these clothes. Number one, basically all, or 90% of the dress clothes that I own. Here is a story of how they were purchased. This is, in my books, a legendary story. Check this out. It would have been approximately 2013, somewhere in that ballpark. I had to go to a conference. At the time, I worked at a window cleaning franchise, and I used to run a window cleaning business with said franchise. Now, we had a conference going on. I knew the conference was coming, but I had not actually checked the conference information to see how many dress clothes or how many days the conference basically was. So I'm looking at this and I realized, oh shoot, the amount of time I'm going to be at the conference, I don't have that many dress clothes. I do not own enough dress clothes to get me through that whole conference. At the time, I probably owned like a dress shirt. Actually, no, probably two dress shirts and perhaps one or two ties. Because at the time, the only part of my life where I wore dress shirts would be like a single day business meeting or a 2-day conference or training session or meeting. So it'd be like a day or two of clothes is all I needed. So I didn't have anything. And I was like, oh crap. Worst thing, I realized this like 2 days before the flight. Crazy stuff. So what does one do when they need a lot of dress clothes and stuff in 2 days? They call up their buddy, their friend from like the age of 12, basically, who at the time worked in a suit shop. And I said, yo, Amjad, that was his name. I was like, yo, Amjad, so get this. I need some clothes like stat. I need some clothes like in 2 days. And Amjad, he's like, yeah, I got you covered. So what he did is I called him. And I was like, dude, I don't know what I want. Like, do you know my size? Can you like look at me and like figure out what I don't know any of this stuff. I hate shopping. I don't like clothes shopping, dress codes or otherwise. It's like, dude, what can we do here? So he picked out all my clothes before I arrived. He guessed my sizes. He picked out all the stuff. I walked in. It was all laid out for me. I went in the dressing room. I tried on the shirts. Everything's fit. Most of it fit. 90% of it fit really well. I was like, great, done, 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 done. He picked the stuff which had the best prices as well. He kind of did all that work for me. He had a discount for working at the store, and I was in and out with probably all the dress clothes I own right now, including the suit that I'm wearing, in like 20 minutes. Probably like 5 dress socks, a belt, 1 or 2 pocket squares, probably like 3, 4 ties, the jacket, dress pants. Would have gotten like, I might have gotten, no, I didn't get shoes at the time, no shoes. Probably what, 5 shirts, something in that range, 4 shirts, something like that. All that, 15, 20 minutes in, out. The pants had to be hemmed. So we like took it to some place. I was like right next door, and they hemmed it like right away. And I picked it up like right afterwards. Like it was, and then I went on my flight the next day, and it was nuts. Like that is how I got that. This was like 5, 6, 7 years, 6 years ago, let's say, give or take 6 years ago. And I wear all the same dress clothes. These dress clothes, get this, I haven't worn them. I mean, I've worn them, but it's been long enough where I took them out of the, like I took this jacket out of the closet and it was dusty. I was like, whoo, whoo. I had to like dust all, like there's like little dusts and stuff flying off. It was nuts. The dress shoes are over there. I can show you, but they're kind of far. Same concept. I was like, oh, look, and I was like, oh my goodness, these are so dusty. So anyway, I don't like dress clothes. That's basically the purpose of the past 6 minutes. Now, title of the video, 0 hours of studying per week. Pretty straightforward, actually. There's a bit of a language learning update, and I've got some tips and advice for you as well. So right now, in terms of my personal language learning, literally no update. Literally goose egg. 0. Nada. Like nada, 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 nada. Nada. Cero. Zero. Like nothing. Ever since Taiwan, I don't think I'm doing anything for my own personal language learning nowadays. And it brings up an interesting point for how I approach language learning, which tends to happen in seasons. My language learning happens in seasons. Ooh, maybe that should be the title of this video. I should maybe change it. I'll think about it. My language learning happens in seasons. What does that mean? Well, let's go back to French. I learned French initially, and a lot of my French was learned in an academic environment. So I was in school. So that meant my French learning happened in accordance with the school calendar. So there's points where I was doing like a decent amount of French every day because my education was in French. And there are points where I was doing no French because it was summertime and there's no French happening in the summer. Or it was like winter break and I wasn't doing any French. Like there were points where I was very consistent because of the framework, the school system. And this point I was doing zilch, nothing. Spanish, very similar thing. High school, I took some classes. When I didn't have Spanish classes, I did no Spanish. When I did Spanish. University followed a similar kind of pattern. So, and even sometimes during the holidays, I'll go all in and do like an intensive, immersive, very like immersive kind of experience traveling abroad. So when I look at French and Spanish, 2 languages I've learned at a very high level, I learned them in seasons. It was not a consistent effort throughout the whole year. It would be consistent effort for a portion of the year and then no effort or minimal, very little effort for the rest of the year. And I continue to follow such a pattern. I look at Mandarin, same thing. I'm following the school semesters. Even when I wasn't taking classes, similar, I would go travel abroad, do stuff intensively, come back, not really touch it. In Calgary, go through a 2-month stint where I'm really heavy into learning, then do nothing. Like that's just kind of how I operate. Got a phone call coming in. Shall we answer it? Let's answer it. Hello? Thank you for choosing Marriott Hotel. Of course, it's what do you call it? Telemarketer. Those automatic telemarketers. So yeah, like it goes in seasons. And I guess I'm living proof that it does work. There's nothing wrong with doing things in seasons. So right now for my language learning, I just finished a heavy season of hardcore language learning, like 7 weeks of language learning stuff. And I might be wrong, I don't think I'm going to do anything super active, not anything crazy to push my level forward, I'm guessing, until September. when I go back to school, basically, when my classes start. That's when I'll chip away again with Mandarin. Before then, I don't know, man. Like I don't know how much stuff I'm really going to be doing. Um, the only real things I'm doing for my personal language learning right now is one of my teachers in Taiwan and we've got a language exchange set up. So every week we try and talk, and we do 1 week in English, 1 week in Mandarin. So that's a little bit. I am running my Mandarin, French, and Spanish social events. So I do get to practice there. But I think there's a difference, and we can actually finish on this note, and I got to head out. I believe there's a difference between practice that maintains your language learning or that makes you feel like you're doing something, and activities that actually take you to another level. Let's use a different analogy. It would be like if we talked about, let's talk about things like, I'm trying to think of something that you'd maintain. It's like if you played guitar or something, let's say guitar, and you learn the guitar, you learn how to play it, and you play it decently well. And now you play guitar regularly, and you play guitar when you go to camping, and you're with friends, and you bring your guitar, and you kind of play casually. You play casually with your guitar, casual stuff. You're playing the guitar. You're practicing the guitar. You are playing it, but just playing it is not enough for you to get better at playing the guitar. So language learning, very similar. You can practice, you can use your knowledge. I can run all these social events in French and Spanish and Chinese and English. I can run them, and it gives me practice, but I can teach them. I even teach these languages, right? But it doesn't mean they're not the activities I need to do in order to really see some significant movements forward. I need to do things that are more intensive. I have to do things that push me. I have to start to learn different grammar structures, different vocabulary. I have to really do it in a different way in order to improve. So it's not that you're just going to practice and get better. Practice does not equal getting better. Not necessarily. Like practice does not necessarily equal getting better. What equals to getting better is figuring out what your gaps are, what you need to work on in that language to get to the next level. And you have to work on doing those things, right? So something to really think about. Anyway, it is 4:39 p.m. here in Calgary where I am. I've got to head out to this wedding, so I'm not late. I'm not sure what the etiquette is on this particular wedding. I have more experience with Indian weddings and such, and I understand a little bit more about how those operate. And this is going to be more, to my understanding, this wedding I'm going to is more of what one might call more of a Western wedding, I suppose, or a Christian wedding, or I don't even know, more of what you might see on TV, I suppose. I'm guessing it's something closer to that. So I'm not really sure what the etiquette is around when you arrive, how things start, what that all looks like. So I don't want to be late just in case. So I have to go. What's up, Tessa, in the chat? I see you with your gardening stuff. What's up, language learning lover? Have fun. I love weddings, she says. I'm pretty neutral on weddings, to be honest. A lot of those kinds of functions, I'm reasonably neutral. So, but it is what it is. I got to go. Thanks again for watching, and we'll chat very soon. Bye.